Alright, so for this particular exercise, we're going to be drawing figure 834. I'll open up chapter 8 EX, has all my previous saved unit and limit settings, as well as some of my different snap settings. Now as I look at this, there are a couple of different ways that you can approach this project, but I want to talk a little bit about efficiency and why you might want to use the polyline as opposed to the line here in just a few minutes. So if we take a look at this, you'll notice that all of our dimensions are really half-inch dimensions. So I can quickly and easily, if I go to my snap settings here, and I'm going to change my grid spacing here to 1/2 inch in both the X and Y. My snap spacing is already X and Y. Keep my grid snap on. Polar tracking, I don't really need that right now, so I'll keep that off. But so we'll just go with our snap grid mode and our grid mode and our snap mode here for this. And as you take a look, real easily, I can create from the first line, and it doesn't really matter at this point. I can pretty much go off of anything. But let's start at 0, 0. So let me zoom up here. So here's my 0, 0. And notice with the snaps, I know that it's at 3, how everything is snapping right there. So I can go 3 there. Then we're up 1. We're over 1.5. We're back down 1. Then we're over 2. So we're just kind of keeping this in. I'll hit enter there because I got a radius or an arc in there, a radius of 150 arc, which is 3 inches. So now I can come back and draw another line here. If this is at 0, that means at 150 I can come up to 3 inches here. So, and we want to go back over now 4.5 to right here, and we can close this off. So that gets that shape, and then I can just come in and do my start, center, end. So if I hit this, start, center, end, and I real quick have that particular drawing. Now, this particular exercise wasn't and is not intended, let me shut my grid off here for just a second, is not intended for us to use the line and arc commands on this. Notice as we go drawing it that way, you have a bunch of different line segments, so, and one arc. So we got one arc and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. All right. There are times when you might want to do it this way, other times where you might want to be a little bit more efficient. To be more efficient, we can come in with polyline, and let me show you. So polyline here, again, I'm going to keep my grid on, so we'll using our snap modes. We're here with this first point, so we're going to go over to 3, click, I'm up 1, over 1.5, not much difference here. Back down, now over 2 on this. Now when I get to this point, notice I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to an arc. Now at that point I can go 1.5, here's my 3, right click again, go back to my line, come back over my 4.5 and down to close it off, and hit enter, and we've done it. Now let me take a look. As I click on this, here's the main difference. Now I have one object instead of 8 objects, where before the way I created that particular drawing gave me 7 line segments and an arc. This, using the polyline and switching back and forth between arc and line while I'm drawing the polyline, actually only gives me one object. So in this case, it would be easier for me to use different tools in the modify command, which we'll get there to later. So I don't have to, I can just click on one instead of trying to click on all 8 of them and use my modify commands. So it's just a more efficient, easier way to draw something real quick. This is the polyline. So we're using that draw command of the polyline here. So, and we're going to go ahead and hit File, Save As. This is going to be saved as Pline 1, and again, hyphen your first and last name for this particular drawing. And that was exercise 8 in chapter 8, basically drawing and using the polyline to draw figure 8-34.